welcome to Off Topic with Tim and Matt, our internationally renowned almost sports podcast where we always go off topic. Okay, we got a bit of a mixed bag right now. What? Canada Day coming up. Canada. Centennial song. Comment, like, and subscribe while you're at it. So we got a bit of a mixed bag in this segment. You want to talk CFL right now? Nothing going on in the NFL.
No, not really. There was a problem with
My God.
With a defensive back from the 49ers.
Was it a corner or you got arrested?
Got arrested, yeah.
He's our top guy, too.
It was one of those things where
hey, look, Wayne's got the right graphic up.
he flipped quickly there because he thought we were going to start with CFL. Threw him a curveball. I just came across this. I guess he was with a group of friends. The police approached them, a group that included him, and observed a gun inside a parked vehicle. When they asked for the keys, another man tossed the defensive back the keys, and the cop turned to him, and he tossed them to a third guy who then tried to hide them. So all three of them got arrested. Are you going to
swallow the keys? Like, what are you going to do?
Too big. Let's hope it's not his gun.
Yeah.
Right? But even still, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, including a night in jail and an invitation to appear in court.
There you go. Who was the Giants was a wide receiver, shot himself in the leg with his own gun? And then
Plaxico Burress.
Yeah. These guys are notorious. And the funny thing about the Plaxico Burress thing, of course, we're getting off topic here. Everybody was ragging on Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Praying all the time.
Yeah.
And how dumb it looked. And this guy turns out and shoots himself in the leg with his own gun. And I'm like, who cares about some guy praying? I mean, he's not hurting anybody, but, whatever.
Yeah. No, I think people have things a little mixed up these days.
There you go. So CFL.
Jump over to the CFL.
CFL, there's some stuff going on. So
the Canadian Football League, where the Saskatchewan Roughriders are 4-0. Beat on my BC Lions yesterday quite handily.
Blows the game.
Yeah, well, Lions have blown 3 in a row. Yeah, they won the first game of the season. Can't seem to win since.
So BC.
Winnipeg sitting there at 3-0. Calgary's 2-1.
Who did Winnipeg? No, why is Winnipeg a game below? Did they have a bye week?
Oh, yeah, they got a bye already.
Oh, they're 3-3. Oh, sorry, I thought they were 3-0. My eyes.
3-0. No, they're 3-0.
3-0. No.
Games played, wins, losses.
Yeah. Okay.
So they played 3. They're 3-0.
Okay.
They got a bye week already. So there's a game today too.
My Alouettes lost to Hamilton 35-17.
Toronto and Ottawa are playing today.
There you go. Exciting.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah, that should be a good game too. Actually, they're both 1 and 2. So I mean, one of them is going to be moving up on the standings.
Speaking of going to Buffalo to eat chicken wings, if you could ever get to Hamilton, a really fun town. Used to be a real tough as nails town. Now it's kind of a hipster. A lot of young families. It's really the second rebirth. Ivor Wynn Stadium. I would kill to see a game there. It's right downtown.
Yeah.
It's like, you get the stadium, you got a street, you got people's houses all the way around it.
Yeah.
It's like right there in the middle of town. It's really cool. So yeah.
I've heard that's really cool. Yeah. The Hamilton Stadium. Yeah. So yeah, no, Ottawa's 1 and 2 and Toronto's 0 and 3. So this is a bottom feeder game going on today.
Other than that, my Alouettes are doing okay. They lost one game, but that's okay.
They lost Friday night. And I watched the game Friday night, and it was they had the backup quarterback in. Their starting quarterback was hurt and not playing, and you could tell.
Yeah,
you could tell they weren't getting the ball. So then you watch Tyson play, and he was phenomenal as always. His blocking's just amazing. Like I was watching him in a couple of plays where he was getting big blocks to free up a guy to run, right? And I was very impressed with that.
So. We mentioned the last time we did our podcast, the flag football going to the Olympics.
Yes.
And you want to see Tyson and Jalen.
I would. I
want to see Tyson Jalen with our friend from Abbotsford there.
Chase
Claypool as a receiving core.
Yeah.
And we just got to get them around. I mean, I could play quarterback and we could probably compete for a bronze. That would be so lit.
And there's some controversy around this right now because
the flag,
because Canada has a men's international flag football team. It's quite good. I think last year they finished 7th in the international.
That sounds really good.
The U.S. has a men's international. So when it gets announced, they're thinking, hey, we can play. We're going to get our chance to get a center stage. And then the NFL's like, yeah, we'll let our guys go. And CFL's like, well, that's the middle of our season.
Yeah.
Right? So, NFL guys might miss a few training camps, but then someone threw out a roster for the Canadian team, and there's NFL players from Canada that you didn't really think about. Josh Palmer from the Bills. He played for the Chargers.
Yeah.
You got Chase Brown, the running back from the Bengals.
Yes.
You've got
Aurora.
Jabba Hubbard.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you've got players in the States that are quite good. That
just having to be Canadian.
They're Canadian.
Nathan O'Rourke just got signed with San Francisco.
Oh, did he go? Is he?
He got drafted by Saskatchewan because I think it's the right O'Rourke, because there's the one guy in BC and there's the guy that played for Indiana last year.
Oh yeah. You did not Nathan.
Curtis
O'Rourke.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Is my point.
Yeah.
But if they were smart, they would get 10 teams or 5 teams, and they would have a playoff to see who goes to the Olympics.
Well, and that's what I was reading, that they were saying not more than one NFL player on a team.
Yeah.
Because if you put an NFL team, a team together of just NFL players, you think they're going to be dominant. It's not as easy as you think to switch from tackle to flag.
If you've never played it before.
It's about as easy as switching from flag to tackle.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna get creamed.
Yes.
Right? It's not as easy as you think. The number one rule in flag football, there's no contact in flag football.
Yeah.
Right? And it's really hard to make that adjustment.
You have to switch it off.
Yeah. So they were talking about the defensive players too. And Canada has a full lineup of NFL players that play on the defensive side.
But they would, CFL, and this is, I appreciate they want their top players leaving to go to the Olympics, but this is the time to showcase CFL talent at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And, a lot of Canadians don't watch the CFL. A lot of people don't watch the CFL. If they suddenly go to the gold medal game and take it to extra innings or whatever, overtime, and, hey, we're Canadians, we play in the CFL, come watch our games, you can really sell the Canadian Football League globally, and who the heck knows?
Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, came up here in the twilight of his career and played a few years. And he's on record saying, it's for real. Like, you think that he goes, I'm up there thinking, wow, why are these guys not down south?
Yeah.
Well, it's spots.
Yeah.
And politics.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
but sometimes you just get up here and you're just happy. You're making $120,000 a year. Top player in Regina, you're living large.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah. Winnipeg, you're making $60,000-$70,000 a year. You're living large.
Yeah.
You're buying a house for under $100,000. Like, it's So
yeah. So, but anyway, so the CFL this weekend was good, not great, but good.
Now,
a couple beat downs.
So we're gonna go to some silly news, and I sent you a meme about women's soccer.
Yes.
So we'll bring up that graphic. So what happened in Switzerland, there's, of course, now they have professional women's teams. And women's sports are starting to get into the mainstream and get coverage. There's prime time coverage.
Prime time, yeah.
So one of the Swiss players, female players, goes on the record saying, this is completely unfair. We should be making the same money as the men's.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what happened is they played an exhibition game against an under-15 boys team, and they lost 7-1. Now, I think we need to put this into context and bring that graphic up. So, first of all, that woman is drop dead gorgeous, and she should be making millions off the pitch. But we'll talk about it in a sec. So she wanted men to make the same money, and some smart ass underneath goes, I believe in equal pay in football. That's why I think the under-15 boys team should earn as much as the women's team, which is now it's an exhibition game, and we're talking about women who are grown adults in their 20s and 30s playing against teenage boys.
Yeah.
They're not going to blow them out 15-0. I mean, come on. Like, they're kids. You're not going to go up and... But the boys are like, yeah, I totally want to win this game. Like, these women are, oh, my God, like, they're really pretty. Hey, let's show off and show how macho we are. And so they bring their best A game, and the women are like, I can't win this game. Like, I'm not going to beat up a bunch of teenage boys. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny. And, of course, controversy erupted when they weren't going to post the score because it was a little bit lopsided. But, of course, the boys are all over their Insta.
Yeah.
And they're putting it all over the place, saying, hey, look at us. Look what we did. And, you know, it's just funny. It's all it is. And it's just funny, right?
Yeah. And I mean, it's one of those things where it was a friendly. How serious were the women taking it? You know,
you're not going to go hard against a bunch of teenagers. I mean,
yeah, like it's yeah. So that's the thing
that was that there. Yeah. But her point, though, there's 2 points I want to make about the pay thing. A, the men's. I got to get that. Of course, we're going to go to the hurdler next. Where's the hurdler? I got to find the hurdler. On the men's thing, people forget that the men's didn't make the money they were making right out of the starting gate like they are now. It took several decades for them, like 30 years, to make the kind of crazy money they're making now. So it doesn't happen overnight. And you got to build up the viewership, and you have to have a CBA, and you have to have all these things before it happens. The women, of course, can make more money than the men off the pitch. With influencing and TikTok and all that kind of stuff, there's a real opportunity there. Because, I mean, that woman, looks aren't supposed to matter, but unfortunately they kind of do. I mean, there's drop dead gorgeous some of these women here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of endorsements they have for, clothes and, the brands they like to use. I mean, Sephora, the makeup they wear, false eyelashes they like, their hair products. There's a lot of opportunity to make a lot of money off the pitch. So, and the men, they're not going to, other than shoes and apparel and like maybe a watch, there's really not much there for the guys, right? So there are opportunities. Now, sillier news in men's hurdles, an athlete wins the 400-meter hurdle despite his penis falling out of his shorts during the whole race. Now, I have an issue with the word despite because these are our bodies, Matt Macri, and I see that as an advantage. He's going to have to cross that hurdle higher than he normally would, and he still managed to win. So now
the broadcasters were desperately trying to apologize to the millions of viewers at home who are in full view of his manhood. I think this guy just broke up with his girlfriend and was advertising.
Oh, geez. Okay, so here's the best part, or the comments online. IGV, his shorts failed him, but he still crossed the line first. IGV, a second author, a true champion. Nothing could hold him back. Luca Benacourt, at least we're sure he was a man. Marin Williams, and we all zoomed in. Manuel Marin, I understand the same thing happens to me, but with my belly. Nigel Talbot, thought having 3 legs was cheating. What else we have? Reminds me of the darker, faster version of myself. That was a little racy. People thought it was the 4x4 when he had to pass the baton. That was the pole vault. Oh, sure, life's a breeze when you're pole vaulting over all the hard stuff. Clearly, he was wearing a thong. Gave him more aerodynamics. Where's the best one? My favorite one's coming out. Count the ribs. Mega Zombie from 20 years later. Okay, we have the wiener takes it all. And my favorite one from Kat Constantine, How to Tame Your Dragon. So, oh no, Scott Maxwell, he definitely went balls to the wall. So, it was very funny. Men's hurdles just got a shot in the arm. Everybody's tuning in now. It's extremely funny. And, I hope this guy gets some huge props and massive endorsements. Because it is kind of embarrassing.
In front of everybody. Trying to get it tucked back away and run his race.
And he still did it.
And he still won.
So God love him. The guy's a hero, man. He's nothing to ridicule here. That guy was a full hero.
Chris Robinson, we salute you. You saluted us, we'll salute you back. Now, jump to my screen for a second. I just saw...
Man, it's epic.
I just saw this meme the other day, and it made me laugh so hard. But it was Ken Anderson, who was a Cincinnati Bengals
legendary quarterback.
And he's like, You used to get so much puss in that tiger helmet.
Puss.
Puss in that tiger helmet. I wore it so much in the 80s, I thought I was a real tiger for a few weeks. And that was the first moment I realized I probably had CTE. Oh my God.
It was, yeah, it's not, yeah.
Yeah,
Plus, yeah, I got it, yeah.
Yeah.
2 S's, okay.
Yeah. That's the first moment I realized I probably had CTE. Oh, Ken Anderson, the guy was hilarious when he was playing. Since he's been out of the game, he's hilarious.
He took them to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And he won co-MVP with Giants and 49ers. Legendary 49ers quarterback.
Montana.
Joe Montana.
Yeah.
He almost retired, came back, had a Cinderella season, and took them all the way to the final. So
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty funny.
I probably had seats.
That's the first moment I realized I probably had
Oh my gosh! I'm going to the Vancouver's Canadians game. That's all I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else we got? Anything else?
I think that's it. Oh, for silly news, that's about it. Under 15 men's, boys.
We haven't. It's funny. We talked a lot last year about Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
And this year we haven't talked much about her.
Yeah. So I want to bring this up. So bring up the fight with the Sophia Cunningham woman. Okay. So here's my beef when women. Well, there's 2 things I want to say. So we'll back it up. So Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark and the Sophia Cunningham were playing. I can't remember, the Chicago whoever.
Yeah.
And one player kind of went after Caitlin Clark after a layup, and the Sophia Cunningham woman steps in, and a bit of a tussle breaks out. And the whole world goes crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
A bit of a shoving match or something. She's defending Caitlin Clark. Twitter followers, 1 million extra right off the bat. She's, hails the hero. She's the enforcer. She's got a black belt in karate or some damn thing.
Yeah.
I tried to watch this video. I couldn't even see what was happening. I mean, all she did was give her a shove. Like, who the hell cares? Like, if she pulled her hair and punched her in the face, like, haymakered her, like, yeah, okay, now I'm tuning in.
Okay, so it started off with the girl who's defending her threw her hand across her face, caught her thumb in the eye.
Yeah.
Right? And so Caitlin Clark pulls up, puts her hands to her face, and then she gave her the elbow.
Right.
And Caitlin Clark spun around, and then she shoved her to the ground.
Right.
And that's when Sophia Cunningham came in.
Yes. But it happened really quickly.
It did. In slow motion, it looks a lot worse than it does in real time, because in real time, it looks like it just gives her a shove. But she hooked the thumb in the eye, gave her the elbow, and then shoved her to the ground with another player from their team standing over top of her.
Right.
Sophia Cunningham comes in and just starts throwing, right? Like just shoving.
She shoved somebody.
She's shoving, right?
I grew up watching hockey. She shoved somebody.
So, I mean, it was
lots of fun and drama.
It's hard to see. Can we get it up on here?
Brought to you by DraftKings. Caitlin Clark gets called for a foul here, and she runs over. She's like, I didn't touch her. And they're saying, well, look at it. Well,
let's see it.
It's hard to find because it happens really quick.
Actually, you watch it right now. So,
anyway. However, having said that, for those who watch basketball, and I really don't, several people have said this is the kind of sandpaper that's been missing from the men's game for years.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen anymore. And it's getting boring, right?
Well, and then I'm trying to find the picture that had that I saw afterwards, because there's another player.
Got her hands up at her face.
Yeah. There's 2 blondes on the
And Caitlin Clark, the Fever. Caitlin Clark has gone on the record to the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Stop doing TikTok videos and get to work.
Yeah.
Because they're not working hard enough, right?
Yeah.
So.
But they respect that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they turn around and defend her in a fight, a bit of a tussle. So.
Exactly. And they kind of look like Charlie's Angels. Oh, no. The 3 of them, right?
Again, those 2 women, they could make a ton of money off the whole. They are gorgeous, man. And looks aren't supposed to matter, but they do.
Lexi Hall.
You have a chance to use. Your looks that, as we all know, you don't keep them forever. That's me, you, and everybody else.
Yeah.
You can capitalize on that sort of thing and make an extra, 6 figures, 7 figures off the court. So anyway,
and it's all good fun. So they did a photo shoot when they got the 3 of them here. I don't know if you got it out, pull it up on the screen here. And Caitlin Clark's comment that she was getting heat for, and these 2 laughed off and defended, was a little less tanning and a little more b-ball ladies.
Yeah, that's right. That's the comment. Yeah.
But you look at Caitlin Clark, she's like your typical dark hair, very white, pale skin.
Yeah.
Where you got a couple of blondes with very tan skin, right?
Well, that's just so you're clear. that could be a spray on tan. A lot of women put spray on tan on.
I'm gonna go on the record off the record here and say it's probably not real blonde hair.
Yeah.
But
Doesn't matter.
it's just the look of it, right?
Yeah.
And
And you want to look nice, so good for them.
I think they look beautiful.
They're gorgeous.
I think they're absolutely fabulous.
You're
ladies.
pretty, make yourself look pretty. Don't.
Yeah, but it's like Charlie's Angels. You got Caitlin Clark in the middle, and these two blonde towers protecting her on either side.
And
so,
it's, you know what, honestly, whether it was a tussle, fight, whatever, we're talking about women's basketball yet again, and there's Caitlin Clark in the middle.
Yeah.
Whenever she plays, the ratings go through the ceiling. So.
well, there was another one. That one that I was just kind of playing there. I was trying to find the fight, but
Yeah.
I couldn't. But there was another game where there was a phantom penalty.
Yes.
Like, she did not touch the person, and she's saying, "I didn't touch him. I didn't touch him." And they gave her the technical, whatever, the foul.
Sure.
And then she gets shoved. And then so she goes and she hits all three of her
Yeah.
shots. And then she just starts hitting threes from everywhere on the person that shoved her.
She brought it.
Yeah.
She brought it. She never won in college because they didn't have a team around her.
Yeah.
And, but, everybody knows who Caitlin Clark is, and people tune in to watch her play. So this is really good for women's basketball. And they need a couple more Caitlin Clarks on different teams so you get that rivalry going, and then the ratings really go up, and that's when the money comes in. So
Yeah.
right now they just still don't have the ratings, and that's the problem with the salaries, is they're not getting the national broadcast, they're not getting the big broadcast contracts. And the jerseys aren't selling quite as much as the men's side. I mean, people still wear Air Jordans, for gosh sakes. My
Yeah.
husband retired for 30 years, 20 years. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
They're hitting 500. So,
whatever. I enjoy, the women's leagues, we talk about the soccer game.
yeah.
It's, they're not as good as the men. They're not as strong as the men, so they're not as fast.
Yes.
But I enjoy it because at the end of the day, it's still exciting. And I go back to that gold medal game when Canada won the women's soccer in London,
Yeah.
when they beat the U.S. and went to beat Sweden. I mean, it was really exciting. And it could still be exciting even though they don't have the same kind of power. And with women's basketball, they don't have the upper body strength, so you don't get the dunks. But it's a more nuanced game.
Yeah.
And it's more interesting to watch. And it can be just as exciting. You can get just as many buzzer beaters on the women's game. And, you watch some of those highlights from the women's softball,
Well, and that was going to be my next
university
point.
softball. Like, it's just wild to watch. The athleticism is great. And it's exciting. So,
The AUSL is in full swing,
yes.
right? And we were going to talk about this last week and didn't. So we're talking about it now. With the Bandits and the Talons both 9-3, and the Bolts and the Blaze 4-8, 2-10.
Yeah.
So it's only the four teams, and it's looking like the season's going quite well
Start small, man.
for them.
And this is no one's in the Valley or Canada, right?
no, they are four showcase teams. People brought from all over the
Yes.
place.
Yes.
Yeah. So July 7th is their next round of games.
Illinois. Oh, I see. So they'll do a tournament. Then they go to Nebraska, Seattle. Okay, July 11th. Okay.
Yeah,
Seattle.
I'd like to do the Seattle one, but I just can't make that one.
So many money.
Yeah. It's expensive.
Life's expensive. Plus, we have to go to either Dodgers and Ohio. So it's going to cost me a kidney. Still waiting to hear back from the Huskies PR department about my tickets that I put in order for it.
Yeah.
Ohio. Please give me Ohio. Please. I mean, I like to see Oregon, but I really want to see Ohio. Okay. That's it for us. Happy Canada Day. Comment, like, and subscribe. If you haven't done that already, please comment, like, and subscribe. We want to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in for Off Topic. Tim and Matt, where we always go. Off Topic. Ooh, it was 11. I got to get going on my old Vancouver Canadians game.
All right. Enjoy.